Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today is Monday. And on Monday we show my makes, what I've been working on for the past, I don't know, week or so. Now, I haven't made a whole lot because I've been making big projects and I actually have a good balance of projects this week that I have worked on. I have a crocheted finished object. I have a knit whip, which is very rare for this channel, and I have a completed spun project. I am drinking guava flavored water. Aldi finally has the guava water flavorings in stock again. It's like a summer only thing, and like you got to get them while they're there, and it's only at some locations. My local Aldi had like a ton of them, so I grabbed 2. And we're having guava flavored water. It looks like water. It's clear. There's no weird flavor or colorings added, which I love because my straw is getting stained from the blue water. It is 0 sugar, 0 calorie, all that good stuff. And it adds a little bit of guava flavor to my water, which makes me all kinds of happy. Oh, I want to show you some. Oh, we're good. I was gonna say I want to grab yarn up there to show you because I want to show you the yarn I'm working with, or that I worked with, but I have a little bit right here left over. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about. Usually I do like a you know what? We didn't do the life update. Let's do the life update first, okay? I'm hot. It's like 80 degrees outside. Actually, it might even be warmer than that at this point. It's really warm outside, and I plan on when I'm done editing this video, yeah, it's 80. I'm going to go sit on the back deck and finish knitting. Well, I'm not going to finish knitting anything. I'm going to work on my knitting, which is crazy to say because if you know me, if you've been around for any amount of time, you will know that I have not made a large knit project that I have finished probably ever. I have made one shawl. And it was a shawlette. It was very small. I may still have it somewhere. I don't know. It was beautiful. It was very popular every time I wore it on the channel. But other than that, I knit a lot of small things. Like hats. This is one of my favorite hats I have ever made because the colors are amazing. This is not a pattern. This is me playing with my yarn. I also made a matching cowl for this that was also knit in the same style. That's usually what I stick to when I'm knitting, but yeah, I'm knitting on a big multi-skein shawl right now that I will show you in a minute. Okay, so life update. I'm not going to go into the same details I went into for the members video because I don't want to rehash that, and I'm feeling a lot better today. And if you're a member, just know that your words, your prayers, and everything like meant so much to me. I know that I tell you this all the time, but I appreciate you guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. You guys get me through some of the really rough days, and I'm so eternally grateful for that. Now, what did I do this weekend? We did laundry. Now this usually shouldn't be an adventure, but in case you don't know, the people in my house are large. Okay, me and Mr. Cinnamon are very large people. Juju is plus sized. Little man is not really. Little man is little man. He's getting really tall, but he's an average size. Well, he's probably an average size 13-year-old, even though he's only 9. He is big for his age. He always has been. He's around 5 foot tall. He's almost as tall as his 20-year-old cousin. He's finally put on a little bit of weight, so he's gonna need all new summer clothes, but I mean it gets expensive, but what are you gonna do? Kids grow. And I'm totally predicting he's gonna have another 8-inch growth spurt. And the reason I think that is because his body's just growing and maturing, and he's projected on the doctor scale to be 6 foot. I think she said, according to his chart, he will probably be around 6'3", but I'm guessing 6'4", just because the people that were tall in my family were about 6'3", 6'4", and I totally predict that happening. There are random really tall people in both my mom's side of the family and my dad's side of the family. My dad had some cousins that were actually 6'7".
Well.
Oh yeah, that smells perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Oof. Mr. Cinnamon is making me some fish for dinner. I'll get back to whatever I was talking about because I done forgot already. He's making me fish for dinner. There is a fish that we have when we're in Disney World at the restaurant Sanaa that is Corvina. It's sea bass. Sea bass is ridiculously expensive. You can substitute cod for the recipe. It's not as good, but it does the job. And there's a marinade that you have to make for the fish to go into. And it is, he was just having me smell it because it smells delicious. It's got ginger and garlic and turmeric and I don't know what else in it, but it smells so good. It adds so much flavor to the fish. I am not a big fish eater. And I'm very picky with my fish. I will not eat an oily fish. I will only eat like tuna or shark if it's like still bleeding. Although fish don't bleed. Well, some fish do bleed. That's not the point. That door is, it's French doors, and this door is supposed to be locked closed, and so it's popped open slightly, and so it's this way and this one's hitting it, just making that god-awful noise. I do apologize for that. I feel like we're up too high. That's better. All right. So, yeah, that fish is delicious. I'm not a big fish eater. I like cod, but I think because cod doesn't have like a big fishy, I don't like fishy fish at all. I love sushi. I will eat raw fish. I will not eat most cooked fish. That can't happen. I'm very picky with my fish, with seafood in general. I also I love shrimp, but a lot of times they treat shrimp with that chemical and it makes it either taste bleachy or like dirty. I will not eat shrimp unless I trust the source. And so there's most stores I will not buy my shrimp from in this area. So with that, all right, so this weekend, laundry. I have been working really hard on the channel, on videos, on making projects for the channel for months now. And it seems like, and the laundry just has been getting backpiled and backpiled and backpiled. And because everyone's clothes are large, our clothes are double the size of your average person. So we can wash half the clothes a normal average size person can wash in the washing machine at a time. People don't consider this when they think about that, you know, like they don't consider that like our basket's filled up with 3 outfits. You know, like our clothes are big. Just think about that, okay? It's like for every one of my pair of pants, it's like 2 skinny people pair of pants, right? Or Mr. Cinema, same thing. So I'm struggling really hard as the woman who does pretty much everything in the house to balance laundry and dinner and all the other things, right? So since I started the channel, there has been a lot of divide and conquer all of the things in the house. And Mr. Cinnamon is amazing because he works a full-time job and he helps out around the house. He helps me cook dinner. Like he cooks dinner on Mondays because Monday is my film day and I'm pretty much in here filming, creating content, editing all day long. And a lot of people will like, oh, that's not a real job. It's the same equivalent of him and his desk job. Like I'm sitting at a desk all day doing business to earn a profit. Okay. So with that being said, the laundry has been piling up and we are also trying to downsize a lot of things because I really want to move next summer, like desperately. And I know some of you still think we're moving to Florida. That is not on the table anymore. Florida is out. I just am no longer interested in living in Florida. I still want to move. I want to be on land. I think we all are moving towards the goal of being on land. Have a big yard, no HOA. I want chickens and like all those things. That is my goal. So we're downsizing some things because I just, over time you accumulate stuff. And I'm trying to just simplify things so that when we do move, there's not as much crap to pack up. And so that is happening across the board. Mr. Cinnamon and Little Man cleaned his room spotless. He had a big spill. He had this toy in there that was a Find It, and it broke open. It's literally like a billion trillion little tiny plastic pebbles with little toys inside of this tube. And when you twist and turn it, you can find like a balloon and a penny and a paper clip. Okay? It's a I Spy type game. It exploded on his floor. So it was a big, big mess. And while they were in there, they took out a couple garbage bags of stuff and like cleaned the room, rearranged furniture a little bit. I have been meaning to paint in there since before I broke my foot, but I have not been able to do that. Because I am just one person. And now I'm like, I might never paint his room. We only have, if we move next summer, there's only a year left in the house. And at that point, just we're going to pay somebody to come and paint everything neutral so that it's more sellable on the market. Real talk. So,
run into Giant.
Okay.
We got asparagus to grill. You said you were going to use the zucchini?
I don't have to.
I was going to grill the zucchini and then something else and a soda for me.
Okay.
You need anything?
So, I was looking at the piles of laundry, and also another issue is I cannot carry the laundry up and down the stairs for a lot of reasons. My back gives me issues. My hands are flaring up so bad right now. Like, they are so swollen and sore, and like you see there's a big pocket of swole right here. They're really painful, and I'm having grip issues. On top of that, hi. You guys just keep coming in. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Up. He's all, nope, I'm going to bed. Are you going to bed? Where are you at? Oh, you're smelling our new friend back there. What is that? What is that? Did Mama get a new statue? I have no idea what I was just saying. Laundry. Something about the laundry. Oh, he's a good boy. He's gonna lay by Mama. Okay. Our laundry room's downstairs. Our bedrooms are upstairs. I can't carry the laundry up and down the stairs. That's Mr. Cinnamon or Juju or even Little Man has to help me. My body just can't do it. I mean, on good days I can do it without a problem, but like this week is not a good day. It's not been a good week. It's a lot of, I went into a full-on flare of some kind yesterday. I don't know what's causing the flare-ups. They have not determined this yet. So I don't know what is physically wrong that is causing the flare-ups, but oh, it hurts all over. All my joints start hurting. I'm having some symptoms of lupus. My mom had lupus. I'm having some symptoms of fibromyalgia. She was also diagnosed with that. So I'm like, I have no idea what's happening with my body. That being said, we brought all of the laundry baskets into the living room, and at this point there's 8 laundry baskets between the 4 of us. One of which was clean clothes that got carried upstairs, and I never put them away. They were my clothes. It was my fault. I never put my clothes in the drawer. Okay? Because I wasn't sure what was clean and what was dirty in the baskets. When you get to that point and you're like, okay, this is getting out of hand. This needs to be taken care of this weekend. And so, this is just real talk, folks. This is real talk. We're real people in this house. We are not perfect. I'm looking at this mountain of laundry. I'm sorting through. I actually got rid of 4 or 5 garbage bags full of clothes that don't fit or are stained or ripped of some sort, that just, and a major part is a lot of clothes don't fit either me or little man because he's growing and I'm shrinking. And again, a garbage bag full of clothes for a fat person is like 3 outfits, okay? It just, let's be real. But it was like 5, I think it was 5 garbage bags filled with clothes between all of us that was either don't fit or needs to be thrown out because it's been in the drawer for 10 years and Mr. Cinnamon has worn holes in his t-shirts and he still keeps them, and it's time to let go. So we sorted through and there was 6 baskets filled with laundry at this point. And I was like, this is going to take me all week. I don't have time to do laundry all week. I have work to do. I have other things to take care of. I have, like, there's other things in my life. And I'm just dreading the laundry. Because I always forget that it's in there. And because it's in the garage. I said, we just need to take this to the laundromat. I have not been to the laundromat since our washer and dryer broke. It's been a while. And little man was so excited about going to the laundromat. He's like, I've seen the laundromat in movies. And I'm like, dude, you've been to the laundromat. What are you talking about? I know we've been to the laundromat since he's been alive. Not only that, Mr. Cinnamon has taken him to the laundromat at like resort hotels in Disney World, right? So it's so funny because Juju saw the laundromat a lot when she was little because, like, we had to go to the laundromat when she was little. We didn't have a washer and dryer or the capability to have a washer and dryer. And it's so funny that you take for granted that we have a working washer and dryer, and little man's like, what is this nonsense? What is this magical place with all the machines? It's just so funny how different the two of them have been raised. It's like night and day sometimes. He's so excited about washing machine. And he was very excited to load the washing machine and put the quarters in the washing machine. I would keep that open, but the TV's on, it's loud, and like there's people in the house. Of course, Oreo's got to be nosy, and she's going to want right back out. She's sniffing the new guy too. See, right back to the door. Now she's like, I want out. Go lay down. You're so weird. Just lay down. Just lay down. Lay down. She's the best trained of all of them. So, it took all 4 of us carrying laundry baskets and helping and pitching in, and we got the laundry done in 2 hours instead of all week on just my shoulders, which was fantastic. Highly recommend the laundromat. It was expensive, but it made my life so much easier, so I can focus on all the other things that need to get done this week. But the adventures in laundry, right? So in between all of that, we actually had a really nice dinner last night. We decided to eat on the back deck, the new deck. It was really nice. Mr. Cinnamon made, I'm going to call it unskewered kebabs. He grilled meat and he grilled vegetables, and it's the things that would go on the kebabs without all of that extra, and I'm talking about Americanized kebabs, not traditional kebabs. You know, where you take the green peppers and the meat, the mushrooms or whatever, you stick it on a skewer. So he took what we would normally put on a kebab and he grilled it all, and he put it in bowls on the table. And then a couple weeks ago, I got a book from Giant, which is the grocery store, and they had a recipe for strawberry rhubarb salsa. And I was like, why does that sound so good? And in the moment, it sounded so good. I don't eat fruit because of my diabetes. Like, I have very restricted myself to anything with any kinds of sugar in it. I will allow myself fruit once in a great while, but like it's a rare occurrence, right? And rhubarb is not in season, so it is impossible to find rhubarb in the grocery store right now, as of April, whatever today is. So I'm like, well, maybe we can make the strawberry rhubarb salsa with just strawberries, right? And so we're like, okay, well, this recipe is basically pico de gallo with strawberries and rhubarb. I don't know if they had tomatoes in the recipe. I don't remember. But it was cilantro, onion, lemon, strawberries, rhubarb, etc., etc. Like, it's basically pico de gallo. So let's make pico de gallo and put strawberries in it. So we did that last week, and it was delicious. We made 2 versions. We made it by the recipe, sans the without the rhubarb, and then we made it with tomatoes and strawberries because Mr. Cinnamon likes tomatoes. Okay. And both ways was good. So last night he made the strawberry salsa, which is just pico de gallo with strawberries added in. Delicious. I can't wait to have rhubarb to put in there because I know that it will just make it even better. And he made pepinos, which is cucumbers with lemon juice, and you can put salt and chili powder on them. But it's very simple and it's very fresh and refreshing. So we had the chicken. He did red meat too. I don't like red meat a whole lot, so it was mostly, I was like, chicken. Little man likes the red meat more, so he was eating the whatever steak or whatever it was he cooked. And then bell peppers, mushrooms, onions that were also grilled. And then strawberry salsa over the top of the meat, which was so good. And then the pepinos, the cucumbers, and lemon on the side. It was such a refreshing, delicious, filling meal. And I didn't feel like gross or sick after eating it. It was just so good. And like, sometimes you just want a healthy meal, right? And so we sat and ate that on the back deck, and it was so nice. And the weather was perfect. And we sat out there long after dinner and just talked as a family, and just, it was, oh, I took a picture of my plate. I can show you what my plate looked like. Isn't that beautiful? And it was delicious. It was so good. And here was the view from my back deck. We just put the foldable table out there. It was a really nice evening. And Bentley was there too. He wanted part of the meal. And then this morning we had a little bit of leftovers that we just heated up. I added avocado to my leftovers, and it was a delicious breakfast, and we ate it on the veranda, the patio, the deck, the lanai, whatever you want to call it. We ate in the backyard. It was nice, but now it's too hot to be in the sun. It's like really, really hot in the sun, but it was a nice way to end the hard day's work of doing all that laundry. I mean, it was, I still haven't put all the laundry away because I'm still cleaning out my drawers and cleaning out my closet and hanging up all my dresses. I have way too many dresses. I love dresses in the summertime though. So today is actually Sunday that I'm recording this, and Mr. Cinnamon's been doing a lot of like stupid errands, like let's go to not Tractor Supply. The tool store. I cannot remember the name of it. To buy batteries. And he went to the grocery store to buy fish. And he took Little Man to the Goodwill, because Little Man has really been wanting to go to the Goodwill, which is where she comes in. We have a new friend. She's, first of all, is beautiful. She's really like, she's a skinny mannequin. I don't know how much you can see of her because my big light is not on because I don't want the light on, but she is a small size, so she's probably the same size as Brunhilde right here. This is Winifred. Winifred is a plus size model. She goes from 1 to 3X. She's my favorite. But we got her, Mr. Cinnamon saw her And she's got like a crotch hole right there, which the other ones have a skirt bottom, so it's like flat right there. She's got like for pants or shorts, which is cool because she's the only one that I have that's like that. And she's really lightweight. She's like a newer model. She's made out of plastic and aluminum, whereas Brunhilde right here is made out of wrought iron. She's definitely a newer model. I'm gonna say probably the 90s. She was $29, and she is in fantastic condition, and all her adjusting wheels work so that she expands to a size large, which is better. I cannot do Winifred has dials and I can't get them to move. This is like a little rotary wheel thing that you spin, which is very easy for me to maneuver on this one. I can't move Winifred's at all. And Brunhilde is no longer adjustable because she is really old. She's wrought iron, and her fabric was really gross and like roached out and just nasty. Not like cockroaches, like roach, like it was dry rot, disintegrating, gross. And so I recovered her with fabric, so she's no longer adjustable. I mean, she could be, but like she's not. Because I covered her entire body. She looks like she has a gray dress on underneath her, all of her doodads. So now we have a new girl in the house, and we need to come up with a name. Now here's the thing. Winifred is a witch name. Winifred is a witch name. Brunhilde is a witch name. I kind of would like a witch name or something mythological or something like that for her name. We cannot do Hermione because Hermione is my niece's name and she does not want a dummy named after her. But she needs a new name, so if you have any idea for her names, I'm open to ideas. She's wearing my Koigu cardigan, and it looks pretty good on her. It actually looks a little bit better on her than it looks on me, but yeah, I'm really happy we got. Mr. Cinnamon was like, he was texting me pictures, and I was like, ooh, how much is she? Because I'm not paying $50 for her. And that's what I was thinking, is they're gonna, because Goodwill is jacking the prices up. This one, which is wrought iron, I paid, I think, $10, $15 for at the Goodwill years ago. When I talk about, I bought her brand new, she was expensive. So I was like, I'll pay $20, $30 for her. I'm not paying $50 for her. So how much is she? And Mr. Sim was like, she's $29.99. I was like, I'll pay $29.99 for her. Because she's in really excellent condition. So now, I guess that's going to be our segue to talking back about crafty things. I have made, like I said, a crochet item. I have spun an item, which I am so excited to show you guys because some of you already know. And then I am working on a knit item. So this is my crochet item, and I have not weaved in any of the ends. This is a shirt, is a top. It is similar to the Country Roads, which you can't see because there's a Fall Out Boy bag on her. The Country Roads top, Country Roads closed poncho top that is on Winifred back there. It's very similar to that style of raglan style shirt, except I used a different stitch. This stitch is 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So 3 double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, 3 double crochet. In the next row, in those chain 3 spaces, you put 5 double crochets, and in the top of the 3 double crochets, you put a single crochet. Okay, so 3 double crochets, chain space, 3 double crochets, right? So you put single crochet, 5 double crochet shell, single crochet. That's all this stitch is. Repeat until infinity. And I put an increase on the 4 corners to make it a square. Now you know how to do it. I'm not making a tutorial. I made this shirt out of anxiety because I was having anxiety about the yarn crawl. This looks so much better with a neutral shirt on underneath, but it's really cute. It fits me nice. This yarn is Cascade Yarns Cartwheel. It is not soft, but it's really pretty. It's a little bit itchy for acrylic, but it's really pretty, and it may soften up with washing. This is color 05, and it kind of reminds me of Lion Brand. What was it? Unique. Lion Brand used to have a yarn called Unique years ago. I'm talking 5-6 years ago, and it would do the same thing where it's marled, but the marl changes, so the color changes and like shifts throughout. So even if you're using the same color, see how this has more blues and purples, and down here is more like oranges? It's all the same yarns. I want to say 3 of these, but I may have used more than that. My hair is a mess. How many yards is this? 328 yards. I think I used 3 of these because I think that's what I had. But yeah, cartwheel. You have seen this yarn on here before because I also have the big wheel and the pinwheel, which is all the same kind of yarn except it's different thicknesses. So the big wheel I think is a 6, the cartwheel is a 5, the pinwheel is either a 3 or a 4, and I got them all on clearance years ago. So this is another one of those stash busting projects where I'm using a big chunk of yarn out of my stash, and I think this is a really pretty top, and I'm really glad. Alright, so moving on. This is my knit project. Now, I am, like I said at the beginning of this video, not a big knitter. I knit small projects. I like knitting in the round more than I like knitting back and forth because in the past I have had a serious problem with twisting my stitches. I have since figured out how to stop doing that by watching a video on Russian knitting. I knit like a Russian, okay? I said it. It works for me. I knit differently than anyone else I've ever seen knit, and it works for me, and I don't care. I'm not knitting like you, and don't criticize me, because I've had so much judgment on this channel in regards to my knitting that it has made me a little bit salty, okay? With that being said, I don't knit on camera rarely at all anymore because I get so many comments like, why are you knitting through the back loop? Why are you knitting like that? You should be throwing. You're doing this wrong. No, I'm not. I knit the way is most comfortable to my brain and my ambidextrous hands. Now, this yarn that I am working with is Earth Yarns Unique Cotton. Not to be confused with the unique wool that I was using for that beautiful rainbow top I did last week. This is cotton. This is actually mercerized cotton. This is DK weight. I'm using 2 separate colorways. I am not following a pattern. I am making a shawl, and because it's on knitting needles, I can't really expand it and show you how beautiful this is. Which is driving me crazy because I want to pull it out and see how big it is. I've never made anything this large to date. Like I said, I made a small shawl years ago, and I've mostly made hats and cowls and socks. I like small things. I like working in the round, so this is way outside of my wheelhouse. I am also doing and practicing lots of different stitches. And let me just make sure I'm showing you the correct side. Now, this is the top part that goes around my neck. This is the bottom part that I just pulled the stitches out of. I knew that was going to happen. I pulled it right out. I'll have to fix that stitch later. I dropped a stitch. You know what? I'll fix it right now because it's going to drive me crazy that I dropped a stitch. Let me put my vision back on because I can't see without these stupid things. I just dropped 1 stitch. Anyway, so I'm treating this like a stitch sampler. And I have stitch stoppers somewhere. There they are. Stitch stoppers. There we go. Turtles. I got these from the Yarn Club, Virginia Beach. All right. This is the part that goes around the neck. This is just garter stitch. And like I said, I'm just playing with stitches and practicing my stitches as we go along. This is 2 different balls of yarn, but because the colors are so wild, this is why it's called unique. Because the colors are wild, okay? I'm not going to tell you where one ball stopped and the other ball starts. Because this is 2 balls. Well, it's 1.5. But the colors, like, don't make no sense. They just, that's why I like that. That's why I like unique yarn. That's why I like earth yarns. Because it doesn't have to make any common sense. It really doesn't. This is, it's going to be so much prettier when it's done and it's off the needles. But because knitting stays on the needles, like, it's funky. I also did it with 2 spines, 2 increased sections, because that works better for fat people. Okay, when you do just a straight triangle shawl with just 1 increase down the middle, it doesn't wrap forward enough to fit a big person like myself. So it's gonna be around my neck like that. This is gonna come way more forward. It's actually gonna come this way on my chest. I'm really excited. I've been working really hard on this. This in crochet would have taken me 2 days max. I probably would have been done by now. This is about 6 days worth of work, I think. It's really slow going, and yeah, I think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. Like I said, not a pattern, which is also something that is way outside of my comfort zone when it comes to knitting. I was, speaking of the Yarn Club, I was talking to her, and Andrea from the Yarn Club in Virginia Beach, we were talking, and she said that she can crochet, but she needs a pattern in front of her because she can knit anything just by knitting, because she knows knitting. Like, knitting is to her what crochet is to me. And I told her I'm the exact opposite. I can create anything with crochet. I know how to shape things. I know how to create different, I just am good at designing with crochet. Knitting, no, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not real good at, like, experimenting because I don't fully understand the mechanics of knitting. Although I think I'm kind of proven that that's not exactly true either. I think I've done a really good job with, one will only know when it is complete whether I love it or hate it. But I think this is going to be a really cool, unique, one-of-a-kind shawl. I love the way the colors are coming out. I just think it's going to be so much fun. And it's going to have like a little collar here, and then, like, you'll see when it's done. But yeah, it's driving me crazy. It's so bunched up, and these are the biggest needles that I have. Not pretty. But I've been doing stitch samplers. So I just have been randomizing. I've been practicing with my stockinette, with my seed, I think that's seed stitch. I just been playing with different stitches. So having fun with that. I have about a half of a really jacked up cake left. I had so much trouble. This is one thing I will say. I really like earth yarns. They are impossible to turn into cakes from a hank form. They just want to knot. And I experienced that with all of the cakes, or, well, 3/4 of the hanks that I bought that were earth yarns. When I caked them up, they fought me. And one of them took me over an hour to untangle and get caked up. And I don't know why that is. But as one of the things that I do struggle, I'm turning like really red. It's getting hot in here. And then the last thing I did, which I kind of gave you a sneak peek of, I plied my first ever yarn. Now, if you're not a spinner, you don't know what that means. I spun green fluff. I spun half of the purple fluff. Okay, so I had 2 different hanks, green and purple, and then I twisted them together by spinning them again. So I spun them together on this in the opposite direction. So when I spin out away from my body. I roll it like that away from my body. So the green and the purple was spun this direction. When I spun them together, you spin them backwards. So I'm spinning it backwards, okay? Green, purples. Created this. I'm so flippin' proud of this because I've never plied anything before, and this looks like something I personally would pay money for. And it's Halloween, it's witchy, it's just, the green is neon. I love it. Now I had slightly more green than I had purple, so the very end of it is just like a couple of yards of just straight green, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. I just think this is so pretty, and because some of the purple is actually blue, there's blues and greens and purples and greens, and the green is also tonal, so you get different darker spots of greens and lighter spots of greens, and I just think this is the prettiest thing. And what I love the most about it is when you spin just the green or you spin just the purple, I tend to overspin because I'm a newbie. I'm very new to the spinning world. I tend to overspin it. There'll be spots that are a little overspun and spots that aren't as spun, and then when you wash it and you thwack it and you hang it to dry and all that stuff, it stretches out and it doesn't want to curl back on itself so much. But plying it stopped it from wanting to curl back on itself at all. So it's like the perfect amount of twist. So when I washed it, I didn't have to thwack it at all. I just hung it to dry and it was beautiful. Look at how pretty this is. So I don't know if I want to make more with the green and purple, or if I want to mix the purple with the green, the pink, and the blue, or that's my dragon. I want to mix the purple. Whoop, don't drop. I don't know if I want to mix the purple with the Malabrigo. Although the Malabrigo's got a lot going on, so I might not mix that with anything. But I mean, I got colors to play with and it makes me so happy. I was also thinking the purple would be really good with just the blue. I love spinning. I love spinning. And while we're talking about spinning, I got Happy Mail from Tracy. Okay? Tracy, I hope you have made it this far so I can properly thank you. I also got cards from Debbie. I got a catalog from Simpson and Vale. I got a card from Vicky in Oklahoma. She sent me a card. And a note. And stickers. I adore stickers. I use stickers in my planning, but I also use stickers in my notebooks. A lot. Like a lot. And look at, she sent me, look at the rainbows. So thank you so much, Vicky. And then Debbie, I'm sorry that I didn't get there in time to get my Easter card. She sent me an Easter card. I just got it because I have not been there in forever. But she sent me this cute little postcard that goes with, oh, it's behind him, my painting I bought from the fiber show. So this is going to be hung up on my wall as well. And then she sent me this cool card that is like all the colors. Alright, and then Tracy sent me, this blew my mind, okay? She sent me a blending board. If you don't know nothing about wool processing, spinning, I can take those colors, the fluffs and stuff, and I can blend them into like a bat, like a flat piece of wool padding. But I also accidentally bought some wool that I didn't know, or I bought cotton, and I'm going to blend cotton with wool on here because I bought some fiber that was more meant for felting than it was for spinning, and I'm going to play with those fibers on this board. It comes with a cool little brush, and it comes with the dowels to make it into a rolag, which is just another thing that you can spin. And I know some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but this was like so stinking, I was so excited to open this. First of all, I believe she commented when I was talking about the fibers that that's what I needed. And I was like, yep, I know. And I fully plan on buying one as soon as like the events were over with. Look at this cool card. This little, nah, it's not a card. My brush. I put one on my Amazon wish list because I was going to buy myself one after the fiber festivals and everything were done, when I had a little bit of extra money left over from all.
Rhubarb.
Did they have rhubarb? You bought some?
And strawberries.
Oh, good. Awesome. That's so crazy. I was just telling you about that, and he found rhubarb at the store. I love rhubarb. We had a rhubarb plant in our backyard growing up, and that was like our summer snack. We would go in the backyard and snap off a rhubarb and take it in the house and clean it up and put salt on it and just eat it raw. Oh, I love rhubarb so much. Anyway, I put one of these on my Amazon wish list for myself. I don't publicize that. And I told her, I was like, I plan on buying myself one. And when I went to the post office, it was the other day, I was having a really rough day, like emotionally, like mentally, I was having a rough day. And just stuff. And the members know a little bit of what I'm talking about. So I opened this, and I saw that there was a package in it from Amazon. And I know I have not ordered anything from Amazon. In case you haven't noticed, I haven't been doing any unboxings or unbaggings because all of my money has been going to the fiber events that we're doing on the channel, that like the first Fiber Fest in North Carolina, then the Yarn Crawl, and then next month is the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which I'm hoping I'm able to go to. All of those things are kind of on the expensive side, so all of my budget has been going towards those events, and I knew that that could wait. So the fact that one was in my P.O. box, I actually started crying in the car. I cried. So Tracy, thank you so much. You did not have to do that. I was going to get one eventually, but I'm so appreciative. I cannot wait to play with that. And actually, I think I'm going to play with that on camera later in the week and just talk more about it. But that's it for today, and my battery's dying, so it's time to shut up and end the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.